So that time I got reincarnated as a slime, episode 30. This episode was by far, it was phenomenal, man. This was an amazing episode. The events leading up to this episode have been hype, and I feel like that this is just an episode adding on more so to the hype of what's going to come within that time I got reincarnated as a slime, throughout the rest of the season. So, talking about the episode itself, it starts off, we see Rimuru and, all of the children there, Chloe, Alice, Kenya, Gale, and Ryota. If I mispronounced an anime name, my apologies. Not really good with names in general, but we see him giving one of the children, I think it was Chloe, the mask. He also provides some presents and whatnot for all of the other children. He ends up hopping on Ranga, saying his farewells to everybody there, and then, heads on out. And as he's about to go back home, he ends up getting attacked by this woman named Hinata. Hinata is apparently a very skilled swordsman. She attacks him, and she puts up a damn good fight against him, right? I think she also nullified some of his abilities or whatever as well, so it kind of put him on the weak end of the stick, on the short end of the stick, while she had more so of an advantage, right? Because, she didn't have any of her abilities nullified. But yeah, they fight it out. We see them fight it out for a decent amount of time. It ultimately gets to the point to where we see Rimuru almost die, right? He speaks to the great sage, and he's like, yeah, how many times, how many more hits of this can I even take? And she says 3. He ends up getting hit 2 more times, and there at the end of the episode, we see him use his gluttony ability, and that's when the episode ends. But that's just the part with Rimuru in it. That fight scene, what went on with that? I loved it. I loved it. I thought it was great. Then going back to Tempest, we see 2 of the 3 douchebags from the other world, Shogo and Tachibana. We see both of them fighting it out with Shion, Hakuryu, and Gopta. We see them all fighting it out. It appears as if Gob and Hakura have been killed. They were either injured or killed. It wasn't necessarily confirmed that they were killed by Tachibana. And then, after all of that happened, Shion is taking an absolute beating from Shogo. It eventually comes down to the point to where a big swarm of humans from the kingdom of Falmouth, ultimately shows up. They start attacking. Shion appears to die. This isn't confirmed either, but it appears as if she dies trying to save a child. And these humans, they attack, they destroy buildings, they kill people. And overall, this was an absolutely amazing episode. I feel like this is something that we needed in this story, because this story, the thing that I've had an issue with this story is it just seems like everything just goes the correct way. You know what I mean? There's no despair. Everything just seems to go hunky-dory in this show. Nothing ever goes wrong. And then here, in these past couple of episodes, everything goes wrong. We kind of knew that something like this was going to occur because of events of the preceding episodes. We see the king of Falmouth or whatever, talking it out with a whole bunch of people, I guess, in this council. We see them all talking about stuff, and then they ultimately decide to launch an all-out attack on Tempest. And then, obviously, the attack happens. We see the Otherworlders, those 3 douchebags, the 3 douchebags from the other world. We see them, we get to meet them. I instantly noticed that all 3 of them are assholes, and honestly, I hope to see that I won't lie, I hope that they die later on in the story. I hope here in the next few episodes, we just see each one of them just get slaughtered in their own brutal, horrifying way. But yeah, we see them, go into the town, of course, into Tempest, and we see them trying to cause a big stir, cause a big fuss, and ultimately it backfires, and then they ultimately just end up saying screw it, basically, and they start an all-out attack against the people of Tempest. That's when, of course, Shion and Gob shows up, and they start duking it out with them. And then ultimately what happens is then, we have the barrier that is put up around Tempest, and it nullifies the abilities and the strength of, the citizens of Tempest. So the people, the outsiders, the humans, I guess, are still at full strength, while the monsters there are, they are heavily weakened. We see all of that happen. Like, this is, I swear this is building up to something, something great, because we haven't even seen Rimuru's reaction to this, because he hasn't even arrived back yet. Currently, currently at the end of episode 30, we see him use gluttony, and that's when that's just when the episode ends. We see him use it, and then that's when the episode ends. So we haven't seen what happens whenever he returns. But overall, this episode was awesome. Oh my god, man. I didn't think that I would be this hyped up I didn't know I'd be this hyped up for this series. But right now, it's like the only thing that's on my mind. So I'm looking forward to what the upcoming episodes have to hold. I hope that they do well, especially considering the hype that they have, because this is obviously hyping it up to be something absolutely amazing. And I have a feeling that we're going to see something, the story is going to get absolutely amazing. I just really wanted to talk about this, man. I love this episode. I've loved the past few episodes. This is honestly one of the series that I've been watching that I didn't think that I would be this hyped up about, but here I am. I'm legitimately considering going and reading up on the manga, light novels, just whatever I can get my hands on, and seeing what happens next. But I'm going to try my best to withhold from doing that. So I want to say thank you for tuning into this video. If y'all enjoyed it, please go ahead and smash like. It'd be super greatly appreciated. I love y'all. Stay beautiful. Do not go ugly on me either. And I'll see you in the next one.